Hello friends, back again for another short story review. Again, it's on The Glass Weaver's Tale by Riddihough. And yes, I think that is the way the name is pronounced, so I know I fucked up on my other video, but hopefully that's dead on now. So Guy Riddihough, I will have his channel again in the description, and I'll make a few videos of this book because it's as I said in the last video, it's an independent author, and I like to, you know, if you have more videos, there's more chance of it being found as well, which is a good thing. So, again, video in the description. I'll do this video of the story that I'm thinking about now, and or just finish today, and then I'll probably do another video next week for two stories, Holiday Home, and the other David Kindle batch. That'll probably be next week, and then the week after there's two sort of novellas, and I'll maybe do them separate. But we'll stretch it out for a few weeks. Makes it more interesting too. It doesn't just have a bombard all these videos in one go. It stretches out. So yes, there'll be a lot of this in February. So there will, and check out the channel if you haven't already. If you haven't seen the first video. But yes, we'll dive straight in. No drinks tonight or the day. I have to stop doing that. Usually, after a few wee whiskies and a few wee beers in the weekend, you get a bit confident and you feel, fuck it, make a video, make a video. That's maybe not the best thing. I said to myself one of the first times, oh, maybe not be doing that because you don't know what you're going to say and do, but they turn out okay. You know, they're not too bad to say. But we'll maybe give beers and books a miss for a few weeks. So we will. You'll all be thinking there's something wrong with me. But story number 2 is called The Boy Who Built a Rocket Ship. And this is written in the first person narrative of a little boy called Joshua. And the story is mainly a domestic story. It's about his brother, his mum and dad living in this world. And it's all about family and, love. And also a wee bit like what makes family. Is family with blood, or is it, you don't, like, say you have a somebody that's adopted, you grew up with your whole life, he's still your brother, and there's a bit of that in it. I don't want to say too much because I want people to get a lot of the story themselves, but there's a lot of themes like that, and identity of who, that's the older brother, of where he is, and his identity is like, do they love me? Should I be here? I'm in the wrong place. And then it's that trust of the younger brother. It's all about trust and love, and he'd do anything for me as well. It's a very good short story. It's very domestic, but it's SF, and it's very SF too, which is why it was a page turner. It was more a page turner the second half, but it's definitely a page turner, and I love the first person narrative. And I remember I said in the last video there wasn't much descriptions in that story, The Needle and the Groove, but this one's, it's lovely written with descriptions, and you're in the mind of a wee boy. It's not bad for a YA novel. And I think Guy says to me in a message that he's actually published this story, with another story in his other short story collection, and they must go together. And if you want to read, if you're thinking about, if you don't want a short story collection, you want to try something where it's just like kind of a condensed story, 2 stories into one, maybe look that up. And I think it's just called The Boy Who Built a Rocket Ship, and you're getting 2 stories in it. I think it's maybe good for a younger reader. But we'll move on to the plot. Not too much, because it's a short story. Don't want to ruin it. But this here world that Guy's describing, it's very interesting. I love the way you've got 2 planets close together where they can actually see the planet on theirs, but they're at war or conflict, and it goes into like this political intrigue, and you get a lot of that from the father of the 2 boys, and he gives you a lot of the history of the planets, the political side of the 2 planets, all in like a couple of pages where he's walking with them and he's explaining. But it's done very well. It's not like information overload. It's perfectly paced, where you're getting this history of these 2 worlds, and it all makes sense. And it was done very well. I think the way it was explained, and you imagine this world looking up and seeing this other planet, and you actually see like lights on in these towns, but they can't get there. And it was well done. And the political sort of intrigue with the two, how it sets up to the story, was very well done. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to ruin it because it's that's the part of the beauty of the story of finding out why these two planets have conflict and why the older brother Jim wants to get there again. And the only way he can get there is if he builds a rocket ship. And he does he pull it off? Well, you'll have to figure that or find that out when you read the book. But as it says, the writing style is brilliant. The characters are brilliant. The world building is very brilliant. It was very good. It was a page turner, especially in the second half. And also the themes are very heavy too, with the family and domestic sort of side of it, with brothers and bonds, and with even the mother and the child. It's quite deep. It was a deep part of the story. But I'm gonna read a wee bit, and it's not a spoiler, but it was a very good wee bit, I thought, when they're at their mission, say, of building this ship, when the wee boy realizes what they're doing, there's consequences. This world that they're living in isn't all fun and games. The people that run this world, there's a bit of like tyrants. They rule by fear. As well. It's not all fun and games. This story, like, it is quite dark at places. And I'll read a page, a bit of a page, but it's not a plot. I don't want to ruin any of the plots. That's why when I read this bit, I thought it was a good way of getting sort of his writing style with, the darker. There is a darker plot here. So this wee boy is watching this, and there's a guy who they've captured, and they're putting the blame onto this guy instead of the two wee boys, and he's going through a trial. Hopefully I don't butcher this. No one connected the theft with us, a couple of prim and proper family boys who went to one of the respectable schools in the township. We were just loafing around like all boys do during the summer holidays. Saboteurs were blamed instead. One was even caught, and the theft of the welding torch, copper cable, liquefied gas, and the spirit alcohol was added to the list of crimes he was said to have committed. They made a public show of his trial, holding it in the main square of the township. He was brought before the Supreme Council's Father Inquisitor, and broke down under interrogation, admitting to our theft. Jim and me, we said nothing. We watched the torture and the public flogging and followed in silence while the other township residents cheered and shouted, scorned with malicious glee. I was deeply affected by the trial. It was the point at which I realised just how dangerous building the rocket was. Later that day, after the crowd had dispersed, I went to the place in the middle of the square where the saboteur had been manacled and hung by his wrists from the wooden flogging post. He was naked, tarred and feathered, branded with a branding iron, and bleeding from the flogging and the stones and the bricks he had been pelted with afterward. Close up I saw he had soiled himself too, and that detail seemed to me of everything he had suffered, the ultimate humiliation. I wanted to apologise about the welding torch, copper cable and the fuel. He must have seen me standing there through his swollen, half-closed eyes, because I heard him croak, "Water, thirsty, water." I didn't have any water, and was about to tell him when one of the militiamen saw me, and brandishing his gun warned me away. After that, the thought of getting caught kept me awake at night. This is a wee boy, remember, and this is the sort of stuff they're seeing. So there's deeper meaning in this world, and the consequences of what they're doing is quite, it's not just fun, build a rocket ship and let's go to the stars story. Wee child's there, I'll pause it. Sorry, the children knocking again at the door for me. Might edit out, might not. We'll see if I can be bothered. So, as I say, there's consequences in this world. It's not just the wee feel good story, build a rocket ship and go to the stars and find things and all that. There's a bit more to it. And I'll read this last wee bit to close it out. Jim looked at it long and hard, pursing his lips. My heart was in my mouth, expecting him to climb up into the cockpit, and for better or worse, set that rocket ship on its course. And in that moment, I realised I was ready to go with him too. Instead, he just turned away and walked home without a backward glance. Now that's not that is now my way of saying for you to read it and find out: does he get on with him? Does he not get on with him? Does he get there? What are the consequences of him getting there if he does? Or did they get caught? These two wee boys in this very hellish world ruled by fear. And what is it they're trying to find on this other planet? I like you to find that out. I don't like spoiling short stories, even though they're a bit harder to review in that sense. But I say, go check out his channel. I think he's got a wee trailer for the story as well on his website. And yes, I enjoyed that story very much today. It's what I read today. Woke up this morning a wee bit rough because I fucking too many drinks last night, and yeah, we'll not be doing that for a while. We're stopping that. So, but this helped me through my day. This morning was a wee bit hungover, and I said, "What am I going to do Sunday? We're lazy a bit," and I thought I'll pick up this wee story. We'll read the second one today, and maybe get the video out tonight if get it finished. And I did, and I just enjoyed the day reading this story. It was an escapism, but it was very thought provoking and written very well. So the next one, as I says, we'll try and get this finished because I'm dragging on now. The other David Kindlebatch, and now that sounds interesting. There's another person the same as him on the book, a bit like Dostoevsky's. What's it called? Can't even find it. It's like a doppelganger. So I'm thinking that's what I think, but I could be wrong. We'll find out. I'll do that next week or the end of this week. I'll have a video up maybe for the two stories, the other David Kindlebatch and Holiday Home. So the next video we'll be talking about them too. But don't wait on me to tell you guys about this book. Check it out yourself. You know, it's independent authors, and as I said, great books. Just because they're not sitting in your fucking Waterstones or your what's the big one about Barnes and Noble, you know, and it doesn't mean they're not out there. You know, these guys aren't limited to what they have to say or do say, and I don't know if anybody edited your work or helped you edit your work, guy. The way you said in the video or the start of the introduction, which was very good. The introduction is very good too, or the forward that you tinker your work. And if you're the only one that really read this, wrote this, and published it without many people reading it for you or helping you, maybe I did read that. And it's just out of my memory. Maybe there was people who helped you, but it's done a good job. You know, it's good. It's good two stories. So I hope even if my wee channel there's a couple. If I do my wee bit, like I know I'm a very small channel, but if I can get a couple of people to pick it up or even just check your email out and maybe get a review copy sent to them, I've done my bit. You know, as I said, that's what I'm here for. Even if it's just if I get one person to buy this book, and if, I think Wizard Jim did, so I've done my job there. I'm happy. That's the whole point. I don't mind spending 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the day sitting here talking to you guys about books. If I get one person even pick it up, it's all worth it. So it is. And yeah, we'll leave it there because I'm going on 15 minutes here nearly. I might edit out that wee middle bit, so it might be less, but all the best, everybody. Until the next video, you might be the next part of this, or it might be another wee short story review up throughout the week. And I'm hoping after this novel to jump into Bruno Schultz, one of his first short story collection as well. Or I might get a novel over that. Don't know. Well, that's me going on and on. So all the best, guys, and yes, check it out. Cheerio.